As his career continues, you always wonder what it might be that will sort of start that decline in his performance, but it's hard for me to look at this high ankle sprain and think that this is it. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and this is your #1 source for learning about the unique medical side of the world of sports. After the Lakers lost to the Kings last night, LeBron had this to say in his post-game interview.
I knew I would, getting back to 100%. It's impossible. I don't think I will ever get back to 100% in my career.
I'm really surprised to hear LeBron say this, and I want to just go over some of my thoughts when I hear this. To me, there's two ways to interpret this. Either number one, LeBron doesn't think that he'll ever be 100% healed from his high ankle sprain, or number two, he doesn't think he'll ever get back to the level of playing performance that he had before the sprain. Either way, this thinking comes across as a little bit extreme to me. We have to remember this is the first big injury that LeBron's had to go through during his career.
I was more stressful than I've ever been.
It's the first time he's had to deal with rehab and going through an absence like this. Now, I would hope that LeBron's mindset here is more so that he won't return to the playing level that he was at before his injury, rather than he doesn't think the injury will ever heal. There's no logical reason for me to think that LeBron has this mindset that he's never going to get back to 100% in terms of healing from this injury. Yeah, high ankle sprains are more severe than low ankle sprains and result in a longer time missed, but this isn't something like an Achilles rupture or an ACL tear or a major surgery that's drastically altered his body in some significant way. That would be a huge blow to your confidence on the court if you're thinking that your injury is never going to 100% recover. With any ankle injury, there's risks of post-traumatic arthritis. If that ligament that's connecting the fibula and the tibia together heals in a bit of an elongated position or a stretched position, you could have some little bit of instability in the ankle going forward. But there's nothing about this injury that made me think, yeah, there's a decent chance that it won't 100% heal. So then if we look at these comments through the lens of he'll never be at the playing performance he was before the injury, it makes a little bit more sense, but still, given LeBron's track record, I find a little bit extreme. If we look at this timeline of an athlete's career, put really whatever you want on this vertical axis in terms of a surrogate for a marker of athletic ability or their skill. In general, your average athlete is going to have an increase in their skill level over time as they get further along in their career. Eventually, things are going to plateau a little bit, and then they're going to fall off towards the end of their career. If you're an athlete who's going along pretty well and you suffer a sudden major injury, maybe your drop-off is a little bit more sharp. But this natural decline that we see as a person ages is not something that you're at fault for or that you can just suddenly reverse. In general, I think of injuries as having a bigger impact if they occur when you're in this downslope of your natural athletic decline, where maybe now you drop down a little bit and then continue the rest of that descent. But think of all the players that we've seen have major injuries earlier in the career that really have gone on to still be pretty successful. Paul George broke his leg and is still playing at a high level. Kevin Durant came back from an Achilles rupture and is still playing at a high level. So just having an injury in and of itself doesn't always set you down this career trajectory where you're never going to get back to the way you were playing before. LeBron still seems to be at this peak of his athletic ability and certainly not on any sort of a downswing. Certainly if we look at his minutes per game over his career, they're starting to decline, which is expected as somebody ages. But his points per game have gone up and seem to be holding steady. His rebounds per game are trending up. His overall net rating is trending in an upwards direction. Defensive rating is holding steady, if not trending up a bit. Offensive rating is certainly going up. His three-point attempts per game is going up. Assists per game is going up. I mean, you get the general trend with what we're seeing through LeBron's career right now. A lot of what's hard to tease out as these athletes age and then suffer injuries is how much the injury is affecting their game versus just the way that you naturally adapt your playing style as you age. I think anybody would agree that LeBron has changed his playing style as his career has progressed to still be an effective player. So let's listen back one more time to his comments.
I knew I would, getting back to 100%. It's impossible. I don't think I will ever get back to 100% in my career.
For arguably one of the most durable athletes we've seen when it comes to health throughout any sport, it's really hard for me to look at this and say that, yeah, this ankle sprain is going to be the end of it. He's never going to be back the way he was, and it's over. Maybe he feels like it's changed him just enough that he can't get back to the level he was performing at before, but LeBron's been so good at adapting his game and making changes that I don't think it's anything that we would necessarily drastically notice on the court. As his career continues, you always wonder what it might be that will sort of start that decline in his performance, but it's hard for me to look at this high ankle sprain and think that this is it. So what do you guys think about these comments and how this could affect the rest of his career? Let me know as always any questions down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, we'll see you later.